Alrighty, rockin'. So let's see what goes on. We got Formero in the Bajai, and it's Japanese, so I'm sure it's a sucks. Against the Shikaku. We'll do the thing. Actually, before we do that.
Battle starts. Enemy force detected.
Wow, this is dying on YouTube, getting a pop on Twitch. Oh, I don't think it's dying. I mean, Potato Quality has videos that he puts out and get like 10,000 hits in a day. And I'm pretty sure Flamu does similar, so... I mean, people say that WoW's has been dying. You doing the island stuff? Like the overshot stuff?
Spotter airborne.
People say WoW's has been dying for the last 5 fucking years, and they'll say WoW's is dying for even more. It's just how people talk.
Well done, Commander.
Okay. Did I miss an initial scouting run? I think I just fast forwarded. Like, I didn't actually see planes really do any kind of interaction. Was he only harassing, eh? Okay. How many DDs? 4? 2. We haven't seen the other 2. Seen an oyster. Oyster's in a div with the Musashi. Sure. Haven't seen an Asashio. Probably sneaking, but no, would have been cockblocked by the Yugamo. Is that the Asashio? Asashio black, good. So there's still an oyster you haven't seen, so maybe in Bravo? Okay.
That's how it's done.
Short planes, looking for the Amagi Lenin. That should be a kill. Bye-bye. Turn to the Torps. CV blocks the Marco. Recalls, cause Holland. Sure.
Attention. Reporting the target
Yeah,
position.
here's the other oyster. Would be nice if the Holland or Fletcher would cut back, but I mean, I guess the Brindisi could take care of it. Okay, so you're hanging out with the Holland, with the Fletcher. That's a lot of side.
Requesting fire on the designated target.
I guess I'm a little, well, no, because if you just hang back, he cuts through and then he utterly fucks you. So you have to try to get out from the Marco and the Musashi? Jesus, this is a really rough position. So you get away from the Magi.
Problem solved, sir.
You go hard on the Musashi Marco Polo.
The ship is on fire.
Holland is leaving to try to deal with the oyster. Maybe get some torp angles. All your shit over here is dead. That sucks.
Nice work.
Only had one interaction with the CV so far. Is this where you get bombed?
Spotter destroyed.
Alright, I don't think he hurt you. Comes in with torps.
Concentrate fire on the designated
Probably get you with torps here. No? Juked, but you turned into a Marco. Didn't have an option. So what was the issue with the AA? I'm confused. I didn't see a problem. Did you send me the correct replay? Well, then what was the issue with the AA? I'm confused. You encountered planes 3 times. You encountered planes once when the CV came over the island and saw Holland and went, fuck that shit, and immediately recalled. That was with AP bombers. You encountered AP bombers over here, which I don't even think Citadel do. Either missed you or they must have thudded on the hull because you didn't take any appreciable damage. And then he came back with some torps which missed, and you turned out into a Marco Polo and got killed. What was the problem with the CV? How should you have dodged the torp? Why do you think you should have dodged the torp? Now, in that particular position, you had 4,000 health. You were staring down a battleship. You had 4,000 health. He came in and torped you. Do you think you're somehow supposed to just not be able to be damaged by another player? I mean, where's the confusion here? If there were two enemy ships and the other enemy ship was shooting you with 4,000 health and gave you sufficient, or you gave sufficient angle to them, you die. Shock. Well, you couldn't see the CV to shoot back at him. Okay. Nonetheless, you had 4,000 health, dude. So if you had more health, you could have eaten some torps and continued fighting the Marco Polo. You didn't have health. You went all the way from the bottom of the map, through the middle of the map, and into the top of the map. You traded health for it. You got there. Who gives a shit that the CV had an angle to kill you? I'm confused as to why this is weird. I mean, literally, it's... I don't know if the CV even hurt you. Worst case, you would have taken, well, probably 2 torps with the torpedo protection that you would have had, but... Why are they able to make crossfires out of thin air? CVs are really accurate. That's what they do. That's part of the gimmick of the class. They're very accurate damage. They're not high amounts of damage, but they're very accurate damage. So he shot at you accurately. Why is this weird? I mean, do you feel that you are entitled to just not have this damage be possible? Like, well, if there wasn't a CV in the game, well then he wouldn't have been torping at me and I would have still had back and forth with the Marco Polo or something, but okay. I just, this seems really, really minute to me. Didn't we talk about CV's not really a Crossfire last night? Yeah, so when people say Crossfire, here, I'll do this. I'll pull open this little thing. So I personally have a problem when people use this like CVs or Crossfire thing. So if you have a situation where you've got some islands or whatever, we'll say there's the Dorito Island or whatever, right? It's got some shit over here, got some stuff over here or whatever. It's doing the thing. You have this Dorito Island. For whatever reason, you've decided in your infinite wisdom to push a battleship here on this line because maybe you wanted to contest the cap or something, and it turns out that there's like a Petro or there's something over here, and then there's also a ship over on this edge. You can't bow tank the Petro without tanking the other. You can't bow the other one without getting wrecked by the Petro. You're in a crossfire. This is a situation where your map position has put you in peril, and you need to figure a way out of it. Either A, you can kill one of the enemy ships, or B, you can reposition aggressively, or C, maybe use some kind of smoke cooldown or something to get yourself hidden until you can get safe. This is a crossfire. This is imminent danger. This is a problem that must be resolved. Otherwise, imminent danger is going to get you messed up. Versus, we'll take the situation that we just saw, where big island here, island over here, I mean, whatever, it's basically a 4-point thing. And you had a Marco Polo, and then you had you. Both of you were roughly low in health. You obviously can't turn to the Marco Polo. That didn't work out for you, because showing a lot of side to the Marco Polo is death. But an enemy CV showing up and threatening 4,000 damage or 8,000 damage, this is a situation that automatically resolves as the CV has shot its load and backs the fuck off. Does it mean that they can't come back and put you in peril again? No. But being able to strike you for 4,000 to 8,000 damage and then coming back to strike you for 4,000 to 8,000 damage, this is not a dev strike. If you had a battleship over here, That's a crossfire. That's a real fucking problem. And that real fucking problem doesn't go away until one of these ships are dead, or you've moved and altered your position in such a way as to break line of sight with one of them. I mean, if the argument is CVs are very accurate, yes, they're very accurate. And if you can't maneuver, they're more accurate because they take advantage of the fact that you can't maneuver. But who is the person in this match that put their ship here? Did the destroyer put your ship there? Did the Holland put your ship there? Who is the person that took this battleship up here where there was a crossfire between an Amagi and two battleships in the north, the Musashi and a Marco Polo, and then, oh fuck, I'm in a crossfire, moved to a position to try to break line of sight with the Amagi, putting themselves directly in competition with two battleships and losing because of it? Who is the person that put that ship there? It wasn't the Holland. It wasn't the enemy CV. Do I have time for a couple Indomitable replays? I mean, I guess I could. Mostly I was just trying to answer a question that was on the forum. Typically when I've got, if somebody has an issue where it's like, I'm playing a destroyer and I'm getting fucked by a CV, what do I do? I'm playing a battleship and I'm getting fucked by a CV, what can I do? It's these situations where, you know, I don't necessarily want channel points. I'm happy to look at them so that we can try to figure out what could you do. And over the entire course of this match, from being down here to here, there was one CV interaction where the guy came over an island and saw, oh, there's a Holland, fuck that. And once this interaction happened, there was a kill on the Neptune and you walked literally into a crossfire. There's an Amagi over here and there were two battleships up here. Your only options at that point are either to forcibly break the crossfire by either charging this way and breaking line of sight here, or charging that way, breaking line of sight, or slowly reversing. But do you even have the time to be able to slowly reverse? Like, I don't see the CV as being the issue here. No offense. Like, if the Oyster, for instance, instead of being down here was over here, because he circled back around and the Holland wasn't looking for him, then you could have eaten torps. Or hell, the Oyster could have just gunned you down with fucking guns. Like, Daka Daka, motherfucker. Just, you have 4,000 health. He just lights you on fire and you die. What should you have done then? Well, let's reload the replay. And let's look at what the movement patterns were. I'm going to preface this. I am not a battleship main. So this is not something that, like, I'm a CV main. So looking at a situation, I can size it up from a CV's perspective real quick, because that's what I've done for literally thousands of battles. Battleship main, how are you going to position to be able to wring the most out of your guns, the most out of your angles, the most out of your possibilities? That's not something that I'm going to have in my back pocket. Otherwise, I'd be a fucking battleship main and dunk bitches. So with the knowledge that I don't have that information, I mean, I can try to tell it, like, I could try to look at what's there and see what we can see. But again, this is going to be conjecture. As far as how to play against the CV, for the most part, you were unapproachable to the CV because you had a Holland over here and kind of a Fletcher in the way. You had a Holland sharking around here, you kind of had a Fletcher in the way, so the CV's going to have to go through that. Granted, the Fletcher A is not bad, Holland's is. Depends on if the Fletcher is defensive AA, then that could theoretically be a thing. But, okay, so you guys have 5 battleships. Looks like these 2 are going to go wide, which is perfectly normal. Usually this sea cap becomes a staring contest. There's a lot of island cover here. It's not really conducive to firing line, so kind of being in this area doesn't yield very much for you. Having the Lenin go wide, the Amagi, I think they roughly stick together around here, which is okay. It sucks to not have a crossfire, but there is a CV in the game if they want to play close because they don't have any additional support, such as life. It's going to be a attrition trade as opposed to like an outmaneuvering trade. But, I mean, they could split up if they wanted to. It just puts them at a greater threat to a CV. So, Marco Polo, Iowa go wide. Brindisi also goes wide. I will admit I'm a little confused by this, but if the Lenin and Amagi are together and you're able to exploit a crossfire because you've got the spotter plane, this works perfectly fine. These guys are going to angle to this, which means they're not angled to you. So this position works fine if you're trying to work on this flank, as long as you're able to make the long range hits. But now you're moving up. I don't think you have a clear line of shot to the Marceau. I don't know if you could strike the Iowa. I suppose we might be able to see that. Still, we've got 2 battleships over here. You could still look to do some kind of crossfire from this position, but you're cutting in. You do see a Neptune. Take some pot shots at him and you beach, probably to avoid some kind of torps, which, okay, that's understandable. I don't know if you can take this shot. You could potentially be looking at the Iowa that's broadside. You could potentially lob the Musashi, but I think that's a pretty high part of the island, so that's unlikely. I mean, looking at Crossfire here, the Iowa's poorly turned for this, but you do actually have a broadside shot into that. But I think you just stay on the Neptune, which is okay. Neptune's a direct threat. And also, because there's a Fletcher coming in, if you can do something about the Neptune, then the Fletcher can take the cap, which is exactly what you do. Your 2 battleships are pushing up. It looks like the Iowa that decided to sail broadside to everybody got straight up fucking murdered. Not a surprise. I think the enemy CV tried to dick around with the Amagi and Lenin, but at least according to this, they're doing okay. So Neptune's down, middle is fallen. You got a Fletcher that's going to take it. What are you going to do here? Do you charge into the middle? Do you look for something to support over here? Or do you frankly just wait? Because as long as you're here, you are theoretically a threat to the Marco Polo, who's going to have to bow into this shit. Musashi will bow in, Marco Polo will bow in. I think you're probably looking maybe to make a play on this, and that's why you go in. But I suppose we'll see. And then we see the Shikaku says, oh, fuck, that's a Holland, and goes, and will immediately recall.
Much obliged, Commander.
Okay, so you are looking for the Marco Polo, and now you have a shot on the Marco Polo, but you're starting to lose your island cover here. You're starting to expose your side to the Amagi. You're exposing your side to Takao, I guess, if he wants to lob shots and maybe set you on fire or something. And at this current moment, and I don't know if you have it on stop or not, because this doesn't accurately reflect it, but pretty much just the inertia of moving forward is going to carry you into the cap, which means your side is exposed, which is going to be an issue real soon. So you are actually going pretty full board, and your side is exposed. Holy fuck, there's an Amagi. We see that you see that right now. Oh, this is going to be a problem. Are you going to be able to make the turn to cut out here to be able to protect yourself? Probably not. So I think what you end up doing is full charging. Initially, when I first saw this, I was confused because you could have slammed on the brakes maybe. If the Amagi gets here, he's going to go behind an island, but that still does put you in a crossfire when he comes around. So instead, you decided to keep moving, maybe to Juke.
All stations.
Now you've got a Bismarck and an Amagi rolling up your side, but now you're showing side to a Musashi if you pull forward. Those are some big ass guns, and the more that you angle this way to block them, the more that you have the Marco Polo up your ass. This is what a crossfire is. You don't have the ability to teleport out of this position. You are stuck in this shit. How do you reverse or slam on the brakes or something? And, well, I mean, this is a shit sandwich. And unfortunately, somebody's gonna eat some shit. You start getting hit. Still moving forward, Amagi is going behind a rock rather than just slowing down to take advantage of the situation, which is a little poor for him, but at the same time, he's got an Amagi Lenin up his ass. So I guess he's still looking to do the dance. This is poor positioning. This is, I mean, extremely risky as fuck. I mean, you're showing how much broadside to a Musashi. This easily rips into you. Plus you've got torp threat. You're able to hurt the Musashi, which is great. He didn't take advantage of your side. You take a shot at it, now you're threatened by a CV. Looking at this position in terms of CV play, can we make, god damn, I just want less sound. Here, whatever, let's just mute the audio real quick. Because it's too much right now. Okay, so I did kind of a review. Somebody asked me like, dude, I'm playing battleships in ranked, and how the fuck do I deal with a battleship? So what we did is I pulled up some ranked replays that I had done, and I looked at, this is where a battleship's going to be, this is what you're doing, this is what you've got in front of you, this is what you don't have in front of you. So let's look at this now. So we're going to stop looking at the battleship crossfires and all that bullshit, although here is an oyster that could theoretically start ripping into you, light you on fire. He's right there, though he's going to be fighting with a Holland, and I believe the Holland wins. So this is also an issue by pushing up. You could be eating torps, you could be eating crossfire, where from even destroyer guns you get pretty damn low. So in terms of a CV, the CV is here. CV is going to have to go from point A to point B to get to you. First off, you're getting closer to the CV. It's easier for the CV to strike you. Second off, the CV has an island that it can abuse to reduce incoming damage if it so chooses, which theoretically it could do with the dive bombers. Third, you have no screen. If your ship, instead of being here, was here, if that was the difference, if your ship, instead of being there, was here, you have a Fletcher between you and a CV. If the CV, for whatever reason, decided that, oh my god, Fletcher AA is terrifying, then he could cut all the way over here to try to come back over the island to strike you. That's possible. If he cuts out this way, he eats shit from a Holland and dies. But still, you can examine the minimap. Where is the CV? What is the line to you? And what is between you and the CV? Because one thing I can tell you is the CV does not often choose to just fly directly over something else. It'll kill a plane. Fuck it. It'll kill 3 planes. Fuck it. The more present the threat is, the more that the CV has to detour, which means the longer it's going to take to get from point A to target. So if instead of taking 10 seconds to get from here to here, it's going to take 25 seconds to go around the Holland that's in front of you to swing around and strike you or something, CV in general is going to be looking, what is the easier target? What's the best efficiency target? And in that case, you are not the best efficiency target. But in this case, you absolutely are. There is nothing on this map that is more spotted and readily available for the CV to go after. And you yourself have put yourself there because as soon as you came into B, the panic button came off. Oh, fuck, 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 fuck. And you went full speed and tried to maneuver and get the fuck out and somehow take people down before you got murdered. So bombs come in. They don't citadel you. You got hit by something, probably one of the shells, I think. I don't think that was the bombers. And then, yeah, because the torps came in after. You turned to avoid the torp. Why did you have to turn to avoid the torp? Because you had 4,000 health. You'd gone through B. You got fucking nailed by people. So you had to, I mean, it's die by one or die by the other. Which one? You know, out of the frying pan into the fire. Either way, you're fucking burning. So you've moved into a position where you have no options and you have no health to trade anymore. So yeah, you died. It's okay to die. It's okay to lose. People lose all the fucking time. And technically you guys are ahead in terms of points at the moment. Theoretically, if this Kagero is able to hold or cap C or something, or Bravo, then you'll have 2 caps to 1. The Lenin's already capping A. So you've got a fairly dominant position right now. It just depends on how the shit plays out. I don't know, maybe that was useful? Again, I'm not a battleship main, so it's not like I'm trying to like, oh, on this map, you definitely want to be here because you have this cross angle, which is going to stop and prevent this. I don't have that depth of knowledge because I don't have that depth of battleship play. But in terms of examining positions and ship positions relative to their teammates, every ship on the field has AA. Some of it is fucking terrible. They still have a priority sector so they can dink you for a percentage amount of health. But when selecting a target, you still have to consider what are you going through to get to the target, which is going to factor into target selection, regardless of whether you can dodge flak. Regardless of the fact that you could still get the strike in or whatever, regardless of the fact that you can regen planes, when it comes down to the wire and you need to get fucking shit done, you're gonna pick the thing where you can do the most. And sometimes the thing that has to be dealt with is the thing you don't want to deal with, because that's the thing that's the best defended or in the hardest to fucking deal with position. But if it's the thing that has to be dealt with, well, as a responsible CV driver, that's the thing you're gonna go after, as opposed to just like, fuck it, I'm gonna go over here and farm this bitch. Not to say that that doesn't happen, because it does.